12 reasons why your Houston area business absolutely needs SEO. Many brands and businesses know, or think they know, that they need SEO for their digital properties, and the benefits they will get from that SEO work being implemented on their behalf. SEO will certainly improve a website's overall searchability and visibility, but what other real value does it offer? Why is SEO so important? These 12 reasons should offer some clarity, regardless of the industry or business size, as to why businesses need SEO to take their brand to the next level. 1. Organic search is most often the primary source of website traffic. Organic search is a huge part of most businesses' website performance, as well as a critical component of the buyer funnel and ultimately getting users to complete a conversion or engagement. As marketers know, Google owns a significantly larger portion of the search market than competitors like Yahoo, Bing, Baidu, Yandex, DuckDuckGo, and the many others. That's not to say that all search engines don't contribute to a brand's visibility, they do, it's just that Google owns about 75% of the overall search market. It's the clear-cut leader and thus its guidelines are important to follow. But the remaining 25% of the market owned by other engines is obviously valuable to brands, too. Google, being the most visited website in the world, as well as specifically in the United States, also happens to be the most popular email provider in the world with more than 1 billion users. Not to mention YouTube as the second biggest search engine. We know that a clear majority of the world that has access to the internet is visiting Google at least once a day to get information. Being highly visible as a trusted resource by Google and other search engines is always going to work in a brand's favor. Quality SEO and a high-quality website takes brands there. 2. SEO builds trust and credibility. The goal of any experienced SEO is to establish a strong foundation for a beautiful website with a clean, effective user experience that is easily discoverable in search with thanks to the trust and credibility of the brand and its digital properties. Many elements go into establishing authority regarding search engines like Google. In addition to the factors mentioned above, authority is accrued over time as a result of elements like quality backlink profiles, positive user behavior, machine learning signals, optimized on-page elements and content. But establishing that authority will do more for a brand than most, if not all, other digital optimizations. Problem is, it's impossible to build trust and credibility overnight, just like real life. Authority is earned and built over time. Establishing a brand as an authority takes patience, effort, and commitment, but also relies on offering a valuable, quality product or service that allows customers to trust a brand. 3. Good SEO also means a better user experience. Everyone wants better organic rankings and maximum visibility. Few realize that optimal user experience is a big part of getting there. Google has learned how to interpret a favorable or unfavorable user experience, and a positive user experience has become a pivotal element to a website's success. Customers know what they want. If they can't find it, there's going to be a problem. And performance will suffer. A clear example of building a strong user experience is how Google has become more and more of an answer engine, offering the sought-after data directly on the SERP's search engine results pages for users. The intention of that is offering users the information they're looking for in fewer clicks, quickly and easily. Quality SEO incorporates a positive user experience, leveraging it to work in a brand's favor. 4. Local SEO means increased engagement, traffic and conversions. With the rise and growing domination of mobile traffic, local search has become a fundamental part of small and medium-sized businesses' success. Local SEO aims at optimizing your digital properties for a specific vicinity, so people can find you quickly and easily, putting them one step closer to a transaction. Local optimizations focus on specific towns, cities, regions, and even states, to establish a viable medium for a brand's messaging on a local level. SEO pros do this by optimizing the brand's website and its content, including local citations and backlinks, as well as local listings relevant to the location and business sector a brand belongs to. To promote engagement on the local level, SEO pros should optimize a brand's knowledge graph panel, its Google My Business listing, and its social media profiles as a start. There should also be a strong emphasis on user reviews on Google, as well as other reviews sites like Yelp, Home Advisor, and Angie's List, among others, depending on the industry. 5. SEO impacts the buying cycle. Customers do their research. That's one of the biggest advantages of the internet from a buyer perspective. Using SEO tactics to relay your messaging for good deals, groundbreaking products and/or services, and the importance and dependability of what you offer customers will be a game changer. It will also undoubtedly impact the buying cycle in a positive way when done right. Brands must be visible in the places people need them for a worthy connection to be made. Local SEO enhances that visibility and lets potential customers find the answers, and the businesses providing those answers. 6. SEO best practices are always being updated. It's great to have SEO tactics implemented on a brand's website and across its digital properties, but if it's a short-term engagement, budget constraints, etc., and the site isn't re-evaluated consistently over time, it will reach a threshold where it can no longer improve because of other hindrances. The way the search world evolves, basically at the discretion of Google, requires constant monitoring for changes to stay ahead of the competition and, hopefully, on page 1. Being proactive and monitoring for major algorithm changes is always going to benefit the brands doing so. We know Google makes thousands of algorithm changes a year. Fall too far behind, and it will be extremely difficult to come back. SEO pros help to ensure that is avoided. 7. Understanding SEO helps you understand the environment of the web. With the always changing environment that is the World Wide Web, it can be a challenge to stay on top of the changes as they take place. But staying on top of SEO includes being in the loop for the major changes taking place for search. Knowing the environment of the web, including tactics being used by other local, comparable businesses and competitors, will always be beneficial for those brands. 8. SEO is relatively cheap. Sure, it costs money. All the best things do, right? But SEO is relatively cheap in the grand scheme of things, and the payoff will most likely be considerable in terms of a brand's benefit and bottom line. This isn't a marketing cost, this is a true business investment. Good SEO implementation will hold water for years to come. And, like most things in life, will only be better with the more attention and investment it gets. 9. It's a long-term strategy. SEO can, and hopefully does, have a noticeable impact within the first year of action being taken, and many of those actions will have an impact that lasts more than several years. As the market evolves, yes, it's best to follow the trends and changes closely. But even a site that hasn't had a boatload of intense SEO recommendations implemented will improve from basic SEO best practices being employed on an honest website with a decent user experience. And the more SEO time, effort, and budget that is committed to it, the better and longer a website stands to being a worthy contender in its market. 10. It's quantifiable. While SEO doesn't offer the easier to calculate ROI like that of paid search, you can measure almost anything with proper tracking and analytics. The big problem is trying to connect the dots on the back end, since there is no definitive way to understand the correlation between all actions taken. Still, it is worth understanding how certain actions are supposed to affect performance and growth, and hopefully they do. Any good SEO is going to be aiming at those improvements, so connecting the dots should not be a challenge. Brands also want to know and understand where they were, where they are, and where they're going in terms of digital performance, especially for SEO when they have a company that is being paid to execute on its behalf. There's no better way to show the success of SEO, either. We all know the data never lies. 11. SEO brings new opportunities to light. High-quality SEO will always find a means of discovering and leveraging new opportunities for brands to, not just be discovered, but to shine. Offering quality SEO to brands means submersing an SEO team in everything that is that brand. It's the only way to truly market a brand with the passion and understanding that brand stakeholders have for it, becoming a stakeholder. The better a brand is understood, the more opportunities will arise to help it thrive. The same can be said about SEO. 12. If you're not on page 1, you're not winning the click. It's no secret in the world of SEO that if you're not on page 1, you're likely not killing the organic search game. A recent study shows that the first 3 organic search ranking positions result in nearly 40% of all click-throughs, while up to 30% of all results on page 1 and 2 don't get clicked at all. What's this mean? 2 things. If you're not on page 1, you need to be. There are still too many instances when a user types a search query and can't find exactly what it's looking for. Conclusion. Implementing strong, quality SEO on a brand's website and digital properties is always going to be beneficial to that brand and its marketing efforts. It's considered a new age marketing technique, but it's critical to a brand's web presence in this day and age, especially as available data and rivaling competition continue to increase and grow.